Yo, how is everybody feeling? Welcome to the Wingin podcast. I have with me Jack. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
Andre.
Better,
Yeah.
better.
And we have a special guest, Vicky from Fangirl Review.
Hi, everybody. Yay.
So, y'all read the title. Y'all know what we're about to talk about. We got to get into this Monster Hunter Rise selling 4 million a weekend.
Well deserved.
So yeah, Capcom.
Hold on. Games on the Switch are dog shit.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that. Yeah, we forgot about that. And then they started selling Amiibo. Because if the game is so bad, how come you can't find them? I got my Magnum Malo.
When I saw that, I was like, "Do I want to buy it?"
But that's the only one I was able to get.
Right.
Yeah, all of them sold out.
All of them were sold out. So I was like, okay, so is this supposed to be? I'm like, what's going on here? Because I thought that it wasn't going to look good. I thought there was no way it could compare to World. Yeah,
so, doesn't have to. It really doesn't. Because I tell anybody, I got into Monster Hunter back on the Wii U and the 3DS with Generations or Ultimate, excuse me. And at that point in time, I kind of got hooked. But I noticed when World came out, a lot of people didn't like World. It wasn't your traditional type of Monster Hunter per se. And it had a lot of quality of life enhancements that they had in the game, but it just didn't feel the same. And even though World has been available on Game Pass, I pick it up, then I put it back down. It's just not appealing. And then even for the situations before Rise to where you had to go to the different sections and it'll have to load, it still wasn't problematic for me. And it still felt more challenging than it was within World.
See, I never picked up World because by the time I got around to getting to it, it had been out too long. And the thing with Monster Hunter is you can't wait. If all your friends got it and you 2 months behind, they ain't finna wait for you.
Exactly.
Because they can't afford to.
So at that point, your only choice is to just try to grind up to everybody, but that takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that takes a while. So, I mean, I'm going to be honest because I've been having to work a lot. I haven't had a chance to put in the type of hours I want to. I see some people with 60, 70 hours. I'm like, God dang.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, I'm sitting here with my little measly 10 hours, feeling all depressed.
Yeah, you sound like me. You sound like me because I've tried to get these other games in. I'm like, okay, well, I still have to finish Yakuza Like a Dragon. I still needed to finish Ratchet and Clank. Thank goodness I finished that. And I still had some VR games to finish because I was going to do some videos, but Monster Hunter calls you back. Whether it's 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and you say, well, I mean, at night, and then it's like, hey, well, I'm going to just do one more. Then I'm going to do like a resource little quest to where go pick up herbs and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And then next thing you know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Now, I will say this is kind of like one of those perfect games for the Switch because you could just it reminds me of what I was doing with Breath of the Wild because Breath of the Wild, I would take it and, I'd take it to work with me during lunch. I do the little small stuff, get back home, and do all the big stuff on the TV.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing with Monster Hunter right now. I'm like, okay, let me do these gathering quests and stuff. I can do that handheld. I don't need this TV for that. Now, them hunts, because I had to fight what I had to fight. What's the one that looked like he's a member of Cobra Kai? he sits up on the whole one leg thing and do that stupid little dance. Looks like a parasol with dragon. Never mind. Anyway,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm horrible with names. I know exactly who you're talking about.
It starts with an A.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be on the season 4 of Cobra Kai. Mm-hmm. I think he might be on that.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
But I mean, I have a problem with fighting something like that on portable because it's weird to try to see it, but put it on TV, fine. So I've come up with my plan to be like, okay, look, I'll just do all the little hunting, little gathering stuff, do that, knock all that stuff out the way, do the little village side stuff, do that all out the way, and then when it's time to go for them real killers, got to bring out the gun lances. Then I'll just throw that on the TV. So I mean, it works for what it is, and I'm surprised Capcom I'll be surprised Capcom came and did it. But then again, now that I think about it, they did not abandon the 3DS. They were like, "No, we'll put some on the 3DS. It's making too much money."
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, they kept it going.
Yeah, they kept it going, even though I was like, "Y'all dead wrong for putting 4 on the 3DS because y'all had me fighting a freaking Lagia Crush, you stupid." Sorry, sorry about that. So, yeah, it's one of those things. I like the game personally so far. I know some people have already beat like the main little quest part of it. I have seen videos of people doing the rampage, and I have seen people getting destroyed by the rampage.
Yep, exactly.
That has been hilarious. I'm not making fun of people because I'm gonna put my fail up when I fail at the rampage. Trust me, I'm putting mine up because it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be glorious when I do it. When I do it and die the first time, it's gonna probably be quick. So I'm letting you know ahead of time. Y'all gonna grab the popcorn. Grab the popcorn. You're gonna laugh when I do it.
He's gonna be 2 minutes 30 seconds into it.
Dead.
Dead. Gone.
The gate's gonna be crashed. Because I'm gonna do what every person is supposed to do in that situation. I'm gonna be looking for the nuclear weapon, and I'm not gonna have one.
Right.
AKA Rathalos. I'm gonna be like, "Where you at? I need you so I can just wyvern ride you and just destroy everything from on high." But yeah, I saw a couple of rampage videos that people are doing, and that rampage is going to be very, very interesting to try to pull off, especially with your friends.
Yep.
Because I saw them. I thought they were winning, but apparently one of the monsters got behind them, and they didn't know about it, and that's how they lost. I'm like, geez, dude, and it was 3 of them. So I'm like, I guess y'all gonna have a full 4th and have somebody in the back.
Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on the swivel.
Yeah, at all times.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, so basically, I'm like, that rampage is something that I'm gonna enjoy failing at. Yep, I'm gonna enjoy that. It's gonna be lovely.
Yep.
All right. So
it says, you got Trinell has a question. He said, didn't Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate help Capcom financially when they were down at one point?
Yes,
I think that was true. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when it was having all that trouble with when everybody was mad at Street Fighter 5.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was right. That was
and people
right
were tripping. That. Yeah, people were tripping, so they had to do that.
No. Hold on, now. But let's make this statement correct. Capcom tripped putting that game out there, and everybody else appropriately responded.
Yeah.
So Capcom, the only way you can make this up is by letting Beautiful Joe be in Smash.
Or
that
just
would be a good
Beautiful
idea.
Joe game.
or give it back to Platinum. Or give it back to Platinum.
Yeah, give it back to Platinum. Do a compilation. Put it out on the Switch. People will buy it.
Right.
Hey. Talk Platinum into putting Wonder Red in there as a playable fighter and have Joe in there as a playable fighter.
Yep.
There's too many. That's not gonna happen, right?
I know it's
not gonna happen, right?
It's too perfect, but I know it's not gonna happen.
So this brings me to a question, and Vicky, I want to ask you this first. It's not bad. It's not bad.
She was ready for it.
I plead the fifth. Nah, yo, you set me up.
I promise.
You set me up. It's a trap.
I would never do that on purpose.
Trap.
Large
on purpose.
But now, so when you play your games, do you try to rush through it or do you take your time?
Well, I am what I like to call a binge gamer, in which day one I get the game and then I don't move and I play straight. Phone dies, bladder's overfull, I'm starving, and I just keep going.
Right.
Okay.
But I also like to get as close to 100% on a game as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that binge gaming goes a long time. So I don't know. It's kind of a mixture of an in-between. Because I want to play all parts of it. And I don't necessarily want to rush to the end. So I need to get everything. Like, oh, what's over there? Let me look at that. What's that side quest? I got to do that. And let me do this. And then, if I can get 100%, then I'm happy.
Okay. Andre, what about you?
Honestly, for me, it depends on the game. Take, for example, last year when I decided to play all the Mass Effect games, I binged them one right after the other.
Oof.
But for the most part, I usually will play a game up to a certain point, then I'll stop and play something else because focusing on one thing too much, I'll overlook little things and end up being mad, like when it came down to Metroid Prime 2. So, so I can like straight play through a game, but my pattern mostly is to play a little bit of it, swap to something else, play a little bit of that, and then bounce around.
All right, Jack, what about you?
I'm kind of with Vicky to where when I get a game, I binge and I go straight through. Now, when I hit a certain point in the game to where I can determine if I really like it or not, then I may continue to do the binge because I know if I put it down, it's not getting picked back up. So I'll just go ahead and finish it out as much as I can, 100%. I got to fight my OCD and just blow through it. And that's kind of where I am with Yakuza Like a Dragon. Like, I'm enjoying the story, but the fights are so repetitive and these dungeons are so repetitive right now that I just want to hurry up. And it's just because it was exciting at first because anybody that plays Yakuza, you know, is very silly and it has a lot of comedy to it as well. And I mean, it's interesting switching the jobs up because it's very RPG like, but after a while, you kind of get tired of it. So now I just want to burn through it. But as far as like God of War, I had to go back to it now that I have my PS5 and I want to take my time with it because that game I'm going to 100% this time around. The same thing with Spider-Man. I'm going to 100% it.
Okay. All right. With me, it depends on the game. Like if it's like an indie game, I usually just try to go in and get through it because I know they're going to be short. They're not. Yeah. They're not long. Now, if it's something like Legend of Zelda or Metroid, I'm gonna probably play that until I beat it, and then I'll probably on my second playthrough because I play those games multiple times. On my second playthrough, I'll try to 100% it or something like that. But usually, it just depends on the game. And the reason why I bring that up is because, I notice a lot of people like they'll rush through a game and then they'll be like, "Oh well, there's nothing for me to play." And I'm like, "Dude, the game just came out like 4 days ago, and it's not a small game." And I saw people doing this with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I'm like, "That game ain't short."
Well, you do have some what you call it list completionists because they even when you see it with some of these podcasts as well, they have to have the most games beat at the end of the year. So they just kind of blow through it just to put it on the list and say, "Hey, I finished that game." I can't tell you anything about it because I blew through it. Yeah, but I finished the game.
So I don't remember none of the finer details.
For me, lately, I've been doing this weird thing where, like, I'll 100% a game. I'll go all the way up to the door of the final boss, and I'll be like, I don't want this to end. So I stopped playing it.
That's what I did with Zelda.
I now have like a catalog of games that is literally 100% map. Final boss, I'm at the door, save, done. I'm like, I'll get there. I'll go back. But it's like when you read through a book, it's so good, it's so amazing. You're reading the book, you're going through it, and then it's like it's over and you're heartbroken. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to do the heartbreak. I'm good. I'm happy.
Right. That's the same thing I did with Zelda. I got all the way up until that final fight with Ganon, and then I just shut it off.
Stop.
So when people ask me, like, have you beat him? Like, yeah, but it's that final fight. I've seen it happen. I've watched it 1,000 times, so I know what's going to happen.
I've beat everything else.
Right. Like 99% of this game.
Like, define beat. All right, so we got something else from Chanel. So, or Capcom can use the RE engine of Monster Hunter Rise and make a new Dragon's Dogma on Onimusha. I am all for Onimusha.
Oh, I'm definitely
all for Onimusha. Yeah, because that should have never stopped.
Don't they have a game coming out for that though?
I don't think. I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
Something was announced for that.
I hope so.
Just give me a second to look.
Right.
Yeah, I hope so because Demon Siege is my favorite one.
Right.
3? Oh, 3 was my jam.
That was the one that had the blonde-headed dude is the lead.
That's the fourth one.
Okay.
The third one is the one with Buddy from The Professional in it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Right. What was his name? Jean Reno playing a character called Jack White. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, the last one was the last release for Onimusha was actually 2019 for the HD remake of Warlords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, remastering that remake.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said last week, Capcom has like over 300 titles just sitting on wax.
I swear,
right now.
if they really wanted to reinvigorate Musha real quick though, again, compilations.
Yeah,
Smart
I
move.
mean,
Take a
they
compilation.
did it with Devil May Cry.
Yeah, do a compilation of the first 4 games. Throw it on everything.
Yeah, Capcom just seems like that developer that wants to test the waters first before they do anything more. Because, like you said, they did the compilations with other games before. Resident Evil 2 and 3 got full on remakes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things to where I guess they're looking for, I don't know, the attention or the support behind it before they go and do it. But even then, I don't foresee this happening.
How are people going to support it if they don't put it out?
Capcom,
That's true.
I feel like with Capcom is one of those things to where if they were to release, let's say, the older version, or even if they looked at that remaster from 2019 and the numbers weren't too high, I don't think they're going to entertain it again. Because like we said last show, what, Street Fighter?
Yeah.
And now I guess you could say Monster Hunter is kind of like their biggest sellers, and that's what they focus on.
Yeah, they won't focus on nothing else. Yeah,
their catalog is way too big. Way too big. I could think of tons of games that they could do something with. They could make a whole brand new Captain Commando game. They could do a new Forgotten Worlds.
Now, don't get me started. Falls in the category with Nintendo when we talk about this as well. So where people do ask for the older games, but they just don't get bought. The thing is,
though, when Nintendo does crank out one of them older franchises, people be like, "I don't want that."
Yeah,
right.
So to me, like that to me that nullifies the whole argument when they're like, okay, we got to test the waters. Let's put this to see what they say. This is not what we wanted.
Right.
But you asking, like you said, put out older games that we had, and we did it, and then you say you don't want it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's why I've always laughed about the whole F-Zero thing, and I go back to Andre. We talked about this a lot. If you can't play fast racing, why are you asking about F-Zero?
Half the people that's complaining about this wouldn't be able to play the original F-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even going front on that. They would not be able to play the original F-Zero because they get that frustrated. And that game was difficult.
Yeah. And there was no lies about it. It wasn't like they were trying to hide and be like, oh yeah, we didn't know it was that. No, they knew. No, they knew. Like you had to know what you were doing. It wasn't broken. Mm-mm. You just had to know what you were doing.
No, you had to be very precise.
Yeah.
For that first game, especially for the later cups. Oh, you had to be super precise.
Like you had to know when to boost and when not to. Because if you didn't, you go from 1 to 20 to 50, and there was only 12 cars in the quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get lapped a lot.
Yeah. So it goes back to that. Now, I would love to see Capcom do something with some of their stuff that's not active, that haven't been active in a while. Right. Namely, Beautiful Joe. And but,
or God Hand.
Or God Hand. Right. But I mean, I can't get mad at them. I'm like, people didn't buy it. You don't buy it. It's not a charity. Gaming is not a charity. These are companies. Like, if you don't buy it, they're not gonna put it out because they're gonna like, look, we can't make no money off of it. If y'all say y'all want it, then somebody need to buy it. and not just my niece and nephew.
Fans.
Right. Now I would say
Metroid fans, yeah, I don't want to hear nothing from y'all.
I don't want to hear nothing about a Metroid fan.
If this next game come out and it don't sell 15 million in 2 days, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody.
Here's gonna be an excuse. It's not in VR. I don't want to play it.
Yeah, it's gonna be something else. It's always gonna be something.
It's gonna always be something.
Well, they're using augmented reality. I don't understand why they couldn't put it in AR.
As much as I would love that, that's a scapegoat and a half.
Yep. But somebody gonna say something that's stupid and people gonna run with it,
or a resolution issue.
Yeah.
This game isn't running at 4K 60 frames per second. I can't play it. It's
no, Andre. It's not playing at 1440p. It's unplayable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Or my personal favorite. We looked at a digital Foundry video. It's running at 57 frames per second. I can't. This is unplayable.
Digital Foundry. It's unplayable. Didn't even know that stuff was going on until they said something about it.
Yeah, it's at 57 frames per second. I don't understand how people can play this.
Right. No, they didn't give me the one weapon that I wanted from the series that has only appeared in the game one time.
Yes. No screw attack, no buy.
Right.
They didn't let me do a Stone Cold Stunner in the new game, so I don't understand why I should play this.
Look, see, Samus doesn't have the speed boost, and she can't do a speed boost lariat. I don't want to play it.
Right. I don't understand why I can't do a one-winged angel off the top of a building through the planet, and while calling out Bullet Club's too sweet. So I don't understand why I'm not playing this game now.
Horrible.
Retro. Look, I can't crash my ship into a planet and blow it up. It's not happening.
I don't understand why Ridley's Final Smash is not in this game. What?
I got a feeling I'll see that one come up.
That probably will happen. Yeah. Or they'll say, well, Samus doesn't have the Final Smash move that she had in Smash 4, so no, I can't play this game.
Yep. I don't understand why you want me to buy this. Like, what? Like, that's a completely different game. Why do you want that in? Yeah. So that's one of those situations where I'm pretty sure the excuses are going to be hilarious. They're going to be hella hilarious. All right, Trinell, what you got? After Metroid Samus returns and looking at the sales, I want receipts. Yes, you are absolutely right. Receipts. Because there's so many people that was complaining, like, bro, it better sell. That's all I'm going to say. It better sell. I know I'm going to get it.
Right.
I know I'm gonna get it. That's one of my favorite series, so I'm gonna get it and beat it. But all this complaining that I done heard over the past 10 years, especially with Other M, when I'm like, Other M's actually not a bad game.
That game is not a bad game. You can tell that people didn't actually play it.
Yeah.
It's just that they heard other people complain about it, so that's what they followed with.
Like I said, that's why I want my Stone Cold Stunner and my RKO. I got to do a British Bulldog. I want my RKO. I want all my wrestling.
Okay,
moves.
Look, we get a Stone Cold Stunner. We got to get an RKO. We got to get an F5
and a super kick and a super kick.
And on top of that, we need a missile drop kick from the top of a corner of a room at some point where she kicking the monster's eyeball out.
Yep.
And again, Stone Cold Stunner. The cannon has to be underneath the jaw when she does it, so it'll blast when she make the landing.
Look, if Pikachu can do it, if Pikachu Libre can do it in Pokémon Tournament, I don't see why Samus can't.
That's the first thing I thought of for a Stone Cold Stunner. That's the crazy part about it. Not Stone Cold, but Pikachu, the Libre Pikachu. It's horrible.
It ain't the Stone Cold Stunner no more. It's the Libre Stunner.
The reason why that looks so ridiculous is because Pikachu clearly cannot get his hands over the neck. So it uses electricity to put the hands over the neck and then do it. And you're like, why did they give a stunner?
Hey.
And then the special, that's not even the special. The special is RVD's Frog Splash. That's the special. I'm like,
hey, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It looks crazy, but yeah, that's like, and we need a part 2 to that. Namco, stop hating.
Now I have a question about the we were talking about like all the older games where you talk about Capcom, Nintendo, and everybody else that could possibly bring them out to see if they have any attention. Now we've seen the boom in Game Pass. Not saying Nintendo would do it, but I would feel like they would be the only one suffice to actually make it work. Could we have a Game Pass-like situation, but for retro games? Games only.
Well, technically, they're kind of already doing that, though, in a sense, with Nintendo Switch Online. It's just not as big as people would like it to be.
Right, but I'm saying in the sense of, like, we know Xbox goes to these developers with the bag and say, hey, put it here.
Nintendo ain't doing that.
I know that, but I'm just saying, I feel like they would be able to pull it off to where we can say, okay, let's see if we can draw in some interest. And you know, the situation with the Switch to where you pretty much buy anything on there when it comes out, to where you can kind of get a feel and appeal for it and see if people really are interested to enter it from a subscription standpoint. I can't say free because kind of get used to saying free if I'm not paying $15 a month for something. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a nice entry point to get newer gamers into old school games without trying to find ways to preserve or use emulation to where, as much as it gets brought up, it doesn't work as clean as people make it seem like it does.
the best thing they can do is GameCube, because you already got the GameCube controllers out in the wild for Smash, and you could actually use them on Mario Kart. Did not know that till last year, middle of last year. I didn't know you could use your GameCube controller in Mario Kart. There's certain games you can actually use it on. So if you already have the GameCube controllers and you're never getting rid of them because they keep selling them, so why don't you just do the GameCube Virtual Console, which is what they should have did years ago, but that's neither here nor there.
Does that mean what was SSX Tricky on? Wasn't that GameCube?
GameCube.
Because then I'm in. Like wherever I can get SSX Tricky, like every once in a while I send out a tweet like, "What's up with that SSX Tricky though?" Like just to be like, "Hey," and it's a bunch of us that want it. It's like, so come on, what are we doing?
Look, that's like everybody that's been asking for EA Sports to bring back Big
and I mean 1080 and waterboarding, the 1080 jet ski, the 1080 snowboarding game, like
1080p, 1080 little snowboarding game,
all that stuff was on GameCube as well. That's why I was like, they got it if they want to, but I understand Nintendo's point of view, because I know some people got a little bit upset when Miyamoto made that comment about F-Zero, but he was like, I see his point, like, dude, we done did everything we could do with it, and y'all wasn't buying it no way.
Right.
So I would say there's a couple other things they could do with it, but if the interest isn't there, it's not worth the effort.
There's no point. Yeah, there's no point because they got to make money.
Yeah, I think with most of these games, like the ones that were in the 6th generation that a lot of people clamor for, like your Midnight Clubs, your SSX, even going back to Underground for Tony Hawk, I think if they gave it one more shot and they didn't do anything stupid with it, I think they would come back. But I believe in that time frame, a lot of that stuff was popular. So you saw a lot of companies going for it. So even like the BMX games, I feel like there were way too many Dave Mirra BMX games to even be
there were a lot of those.
Like way too many. But it was all the craze, skating, BMX, snowboarding. The X game stuff was all the craze. So now that you don't hear it or see it, I guess they kind of fell back. But I mean, there's always one that can make it work.
The problem is, like with anything, when it comes down to gaming, a company finds a hit, they will milk it to death.
Oh yeah,
instead of giving it room to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true.
And plus, you got to remember, like back then, 5th and 6th gen, there was way more developers than we got now. Like we lost a lot of them during the HD thing. They either got bought out or they tanked.
They tanked
because they couldn't. It cost too much.
Yeah, I was about to say they can't take risk anymore at this point. I mean, we got a lot of bum games behind it, but at the same time, we got a lot of great games behind it too. To where I didn't know what I was getting. I was excited to jump into the game, and I couldn't just call it off the top of my head of what I was about to experience.
Yeah. That's why I will always go back to that GDC conference when Iwata said, like, look, they can't sustain this model, and nobody wanted to listen to him. Mm-hmm. And he was right. So
now it's too expensive to do anything.
You know, the messed up thing is all those companies that tanked trying to chase HD, if they had stuck with the Wii during that generation,
they would have been fine.
Still be around.
Yep.
Crazy.
Because the ones that did are still around. The ones that did. But so, all right. So, show of hands. Who else totally forgot about Shin Megami Tensei 3? Bruh, okay. So, I completely forgot about this. When the Switch was did their first sizzle reel, we got Shin Megami Tensei 5 and 3 in there. Yep. I completely forgot about this game because they hadn't seen hide nor hair of it. They dropped the trailer because apparently 3 is dropping in May. The 3, the remake or remaster, whatever they're doing with it, is dropping in May. And
it would be a remake. It would be a remake. Okay, so I'm sitting here like, I completely forgot about this. I'm like, I wonder who all else forgot about, because it's amazing because nothing about it.
Yeah, because most time people be complaining. You hear people complain about Bayonetta and Metroid every other month, every other day. They're complaining about that, but I'm like, y'all ain't complaining about Shin Megami Tensei? That was way worse.
You want to know the reason? You want to know the reason why?
Why?
Because a lot of people don't know that Shin Megami Tensei is connected.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
Okay.
That's why. Because if they knew it was connected to Persona, they'd be clamoring for it.
Right. Yep.
Because the problem is, a lot of people don't know that's where Persona came from.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah. And then even when you see those that do jump into this one, the difficulty is what's going to get a lot of people to put it down.
Persona is the light beer
Very
version of Shin Megami Tensei.
Do y'all ever laugh when people put up them Dark Souls memes and knowing that you came from Contra?
Oh yeah, definitely. Look, you got Contra. Hell, you got Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Oh yeah,
Lion King.
That was meant to just cause havoc.
Chikanda Forever, man.
Yeah.
Double Dragon.
I'm sitting here looking like people. I was like, man, Dark Souls are so hard. I'm like,
whatever.
Oh,
look,
man. That's cute.
All Dark Souls is the process of elimination. That's all it is.
Yeah. Once you figure it out and act accordingly, it's not. It's challenging, but it's not going to make you mad.
No.
It's not.
No, you were mad playing Ninja Gaiden, and you died and had to start the whole game over.
Yeah,
you were mad when you played. What was it? Played DuckTales on the NES.
Oh, no need.
That was mad.
Nah, Friday the 13th on NES. I still have beef with that. Still have beef with Jason.
You know the crazy thing about those older games too? You totally forget the fact that manuals explain to you how to play those games. So even if you try to jump into it now and there's no manuals, you're like, how do I do this? Even though it's only like 2 buttons, you're like, how?
And look, I was a faithful reader of manuals back then. I read them
before
I played the game.
Yeah, before I even booted it up. Before I booted it up.
My friends hated me too for doing that. I was like, why are you sitting there reading the manual? Because I want to know how to play the game.
Yeah. I mean, don't read the manual on that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on NES. Go ahead,
don't do that.
Yeah. My personal favorite. Don't read the manual for Wolverine's Adamantium Rage. You won't get past the first stage.
No, you wouldn't. You would not.
Because the first stage,
hell, you wouldn't get past the first 2 to 3 enemies.
Yeah, because the first stage of Wolverine's Adamantium Rage, you had to fight the entirety of the hand and Silver Samurai. Good luck.
Yep. I mean, I was looking at playing emulators before with some of the older games I played on Super Nintendo, and realized like how handicapped I am now playing these newer games because they walk you through everything, give you hints to where I'm sitting there like playing Spider-Man or playing Carnage.
It tells
you
like,
where am I supposed to go next? Like I'm just lost, and the music is playing in the background. I was like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
And some of them games you had to pay attention to the music.
Oh yeah,
on top of doing everything else. So
like the X-Men on Genesis, where you played all the way through to it, you beat Mojo, and you got to the end of that stage, and you did not know what to do, even though the game was telling you reset the game. People didn't understand what reset the game meant until you actually reset the system, and it booted the rest of the game up.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's nuts when you think about it.
That's stuff that doesn't get done nowadays. Like even like back with Metal Gear Solid, where you had to look at the back of the box to get Meryl's codex number.
Yeah,
nobody told you that.
They know they're on it at this point.
Well, no, it told you in the game, but people if you weren't paying attention to what they were saying, you wouldn't understand.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So one of my favorite series, they've been going back and doing a whole lot of videos because it's their 25th anniversary. That's the Tales of series.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great series. I mean, if you're a fan of action RPGs, great series. Bandai Namco, why didn't y'all put Tales of Symphonia on the HD remaster on the Wii U or the Switch?
I knew that was coming.
I'm just asking, because seeing as how y'all put it on the PS3 and on Steam. Just asking.
At this point, I don't know. And then they act so oblivious when, like, say the game does come out and it sells. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that would happen. No, really?
you didn't know that the fan base that bought a bunch of it before was going to buy a bunch of it again.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, but then again, they did do that with Soul Calibur 2.
And they also did not put it on the Wii U, but told people to, hey man, y'all need to tell Bandai and see. I'm not port begging.
No,
I'm not port begging. Number one, I can show you the numbers. GameCube sold better than your other two.
And we know why. The smallest platform.
And we know why. But you still should have put it on there because I needed to wreck everybody with Link. That's all I
do. Then you would have actually been able to put the game out with the complete cast.
Yep. I mean,
that would have been the best-selling version.
Granted, it would have been a little bit unfair to Sony and PlayStation, but all is fair in love and hate. I mean, war. So, horrible. Yeah, I'm like, look, yeah, they're not gonna get Link, but sounds like a personal issue. So
that would be a personal issue.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't get Link.
Yeah,
sorry.
Right.
Nah, you didn't get them in 2002. You're not getting them now. What?
I don't even know what characters like Sony and Microsoft would even get now.
They wouldn't even have to put Link in there himself. They could just put a generic character in there called Woodland Elf. Yeah. Be fine.
Yeah.
Right. They have create a character mode. You can do that.
Yeah.
Well, not for Soul Calibur 2.
Not for Soul Calibur 2, yeah, because they didn't have that. Now, here's the thing that I didn't understand because I am a Soul Calibur fan myself. And I did buy 6, the biggest mistake of my life. And
you did that.
Fan being stupid. And
that is the true definition of a fan. You will have those moments.
Being stupid. Yeah, and I'm sitting here looking at this game and I'm like, wait a minute. Why couldn't this go on a Nintendo console? Because this looks like garbage.
Oh, it does.
I got it on Xbox and I'm sitting here like
it plays decently, but yeah, it does look like a mess.
But I will say this. I will say this. It's probably about time for them to do a refresh like they did with Samurai Warriors. They need to go cell shade on this.
Yes.
Yeah. They just need to go cell shade.
They should have a while ago.
Yeah. I think that will probably help them out way better than trying to do this ultra realistic PlayStation 2 Dreamcast graphics. I had to say it, man, because that's what it looks like. Because the thing is, like, they'll show you this awesome artwork, and then when it actually goes to the actual stage, you're like, "The hell is this?"
It's so muddy. I'm like, a lot of stuff does blend in together. Unfortunately, it's just how it looks.
So I'm just sitting there, like, okay, why? What was the excuse again? Like, what was the excuse? Because I'm like, but you know what? That's neither here nor there because I personally would have put Demise on there if it was me, but but that's just me. But yeah,
that would be if it was a Nintendo exclusive, and you can't do that.
Right. Exactly.
Apparently, there's Sony, PlayStation, and PC exclusive, and let's see how. And you see how that looked. I rest my case. I rest my case. I find that to be hilarious and funny all at the same time. So. Yeah, so I just find that funny. That's just me. I know it's just weird. I personally though I like the Tales series, and I think some of their games should because there was a game that came out in Japan, Tales of Graces on the Wii, never came over here, but the PlayStation 3 got Tales of Graces F. That's how I played it, and that's why I've always had a problem with Reggie because Reggie made a comment talking about back when he was head of Nintendo America was like, oh, we know what our fans want. Apparently, you don't.
Right.
So I mean, look, I can name a game right off the top of my head that should have came over here because all the voice work was done for it, and that's freaking Disaster Day of Crisis.
Yeah, Day of Crisis.
That should have come out over here.
I mean, there had to be an entire movement to get Xenoblade Chronicles, one of their best-selling games now.
Xenoblade Last Story and Pandora's Tower.
Yeah,
I'm curious as to what was the push behind that though.
Well, like why they wasn't doing it, I don't know.
No, I'm saying like why did we get those games? And to the
fans
point where now Xenoblade is now one of their top franchises.
Fans begged for it in droves.
Yeah, because Xenoblade was already coming to Japan, and Xenoblade and Last Story was already coming to Japan and Europe. But for some reason, North America was like, "No, we don't need it."
Nope.
And I'm sitting there like, bruh, if y'all already got it done, why won't you just bring it over? That's just extra money.
Like you already got English voice work done for the European side.
Right.
Just
so what's
toss it over.
Which is exactly what they wound up doing anyway. They didn't get American voice actors for the North American version. They just used it. Yeah, I'm just saying though, like if the excuse was gonna be, oh well, we gotta get voice actors, all that. No, you did, because you just gave us the same game. So,
but it's also the same thing that happened with Project Cross Zone for 3DS, because it wasn't going to be localized, and it took a big fan movement to get that to happen, and then it sold well.
Well, because you got me hooked on Project Cross Zone. Some of them jokes in there is like,
oh yeah,
bro.
But I mean, if you look at that game on the surface, I was curious as to why so many people were not talking about it at the height that it should have been talked about. Because I mean, you look at the culmination of all the characters in that game and how it plays, that should be a game that's still going right now.
It should be. But what would actually work would be porting it to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer for a lot of things.
I mean,
that's the answer.
80 million plus in Rising, and we ain't even. It's probably gonna hit close to 100 before the end of the year.
The thing with that is the 3DS had so many RPG type games that all came out around the same time.
Yep.
They kind of cannibalized
it did well. Yeah, even though it did well, and it did well enough to get a sequel, it still didn't get the attention that it should have gotten. Because you would think a massive collection of Capcom, Namco Bandai, and Nintendo characters and Sega characters would be, all the rage right now. Like, because it's so many different characters from so many different universes.
Yeah.
And different companies. And yes, the comedy
kind of like the Smash Brothers type ordeal of that situation.
Yeah,
you really
the comedy is golden in those games.
Yeah. Parents, don't let your kids play part 2. So
there's one acceptable part to show your kids from part 2. And that is the Segata Sanshiro Sakura dance.
Oh yeah, that's
the only thing that's appropriate to show. Yeah. And
but everything else,
you got to show it just before he meets Sakura from Sakura Wars. You got to show it just before he meets her because of how deep his voice is, and then you hear him greet her and how high pitched he gets.
Yeah. Other than that,
then you don't show them. Then you don't show them the rest because a lot of that humor they will not understand.
And a lot of that humor you will understand, and you will be upset. So, just saying.
Especially you find out your boy Renji was doing some dirt.
I plead the fifth. So, so you know what, man? March 31st was a very special time for some people.
It sure was.
I'm reminded of a song from 1991 by Boyz II Men.
How did I know you was going that direction?
And it's so hard to not say goodbye to Mario because he ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Everybody was writing their eulogies for him.
Yeah,
it was like insane. And then I had people ask me like, "Oh, Mario's going away." I was like, "No, it's something very stupid. Just ignore it."
What the?
Like the casual crowd on the outskirts. That's what frustrated me.
Yeah, because they didn't know. And if they didn't do it on April 1st, they would have got some people.
They definitely would have.
But the thing was, you had it was somebody that put out a whole funeral with Luigi there and Link and Zelda and Mario and Samus and Bayonetta. And they had the Howard twins from Astro Chain. I'm like, why are they there? And I'm just sitting there like, okay.
Well, Nintendo does own Astro Chain.
Yeah, they do, and I got that, but I was like, they don't know him, so
right, like it has nothing to do.
They've been around long enough to meet Mario.
They've been around to know him, so. But it got people. People actually thought that Nintendo was retiring Mario. I'm like, are you out of your mind? They just opened a park. Are you out of your mind? And on top of that, he's still supposed to be him, Goku, and Sonic are still supposed to be at the opening ceremonies for the Olympics.
And on top of that, they're doing a Super Mario movie. So how would they be retiring them?
Next summer? Yeah, next summer is supposed to come out. So
the only way I could say they can get away with, I guess you could say, retirement would be from the games. because,
And
like I
that's
said,
still wouldn't
Nintendo's
work.
mentioned many of times they want to be like Disney, to where like Mickey Mouse, but you don't see him in anything anymore.
And they can't do that with Mario. He's too recognizable. Mario is recognizable on it's pretty much the face of gaming. Period.
Pretty much, yeah.
That
is
little
the face of gaming.
That little Italian plumber.
Mario is the bottom chick for Nintendo. All right.
Right.
And I'm using the word chick because we're on here, and that's not the word I wanted to say. Y'all know.
Yeah.
We know what you're saying.
He holds it down. He brings in the money.
Right.
He ain't going nowhere. He handle all the other chicks too. So he run this.
I mean, that's why the other thing I was laughing at people about because they were mad about them getting rid of those things off the eShop. But I'm like,
you can still buy them in the store.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I'm sitting there like, but half of y'all complaining always talk about you got it on your older system anyway. So why do you care?
Or the simple fact that you had 6 months to buy it in the first damn place. But
and they told you at the beginning of that 6 months.
Yeah.
And plus, it's just like a Disney vault. The Disney vault. They take their movies, they put it in the vault.
For 10 years.
Comes back out.
Yep.
It goes back in. Comes back out. So like, they'll remaster it, reflip it, and then it'll come back again. So like, don't. Whatever.
And I don't think it's going to be 10 years when they do. It's probably going to be 5 or 3. They'll probably redo it again when they do whatever the next thing after Switch is.
40 years is very close.
Look,
you tell me they ain't doing it for 40?
When they do 40, when they do 40, Mario 35 is going to become Super Mario 40.
Yeah, basically. So I mean, I just thought that was funny. I
tried to understand.
But hey, Mario's funeral was more important than 3 Sony storefront. 3. That's amazing. That's amazing. That one character,
quick.
That one character, was more important than 3 of Sony's storefronts.
Yep.
Which I thought, because at first when I first heard about that, I thought what they were doing was going to roll it into PSN.
I would have thought they would too.
They didn't do that. They were just like, "No, they did."
No, just like no. I would have had that same mindset if I didn't take a chance on PS Now or purchase any of these older games on the PlayStation Store. They're trash. Like they run bad. So even if you were to bring them over, they didn't optimize them at all. And then you still get that verbiage up there that says, "Hey, it's not meant to, but you can try it." In a way, I'm paraphrasing, but I wouldn't have. I mean, tell them to do it anyway because they didn't put the work in like Microsoft did.
Yeah, so, like Microsoft was not lying when they said that we are gonna look at all these games last summer when they were talking about, look, man, we got 1,500 more games to go through that we got to optimize. I'm like, 1,500? They're still not done with all the games they're supposed to optimize. That's why everything ain't on Game Pass right now. It's supposed to get there probably by the next summer, but they had so many games that they had to get done had to get optimized for Game Pass. So everything they're doing is getting optimized for Game Pass. It also helps that the controller has barely changed in the last 20 years. That also helps.
Because I didn't even think about that until you said it. Because there's only a handful of 360 games on Game Pass and maybe 1 or 2 Xbox games on there. So I mean, imagine, because they said that their exclusives are going to be there forever. So they can throw a gang of games on there. And then with this acquisition of MLB 21 being day and date, that means that it's possible for third parties to do the same thing and not just indie games.
Yeah.
So Game Pass is going to be a force to deal with. But from PlayStation standpoint, they don't care about PS3 or PSP and Vita.
Hell
no. You want them to, but they don't.
I mean,
it's not going to happen.
The funniest thing that they ever did was Last of Us comes out on PS3. Last of Us Definitive Edition comes out on PS4 not even 8 months later.
Well, no, it was Last of Us came on PS3. Then The Last of Us got put on PlayStation Now, which ran on PS4 to stream it. And then
but it wasn't even 8 months.
It wasn't even 8 months. But then they just did something even dumber than that, though. Yeah. They just did something dumber than that, because you remember in the beginning, the whole answer to Game Pass was PS Collections, right?
Oh, yeah.
Days Gone is on PS Collections. But then this month for PS Plus, guess what's on there? Days Gone. Why?
So what was the point? Yeah,
They said it's for the PS4 crowd, but it's like, for what? The game can be half for like $10 at this point anyway. But it's one of those things of, if you have a PS5, if I've already gotten PS collections through PS Plus, why would you make that PS Plus game for the month?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It's struggling right now. Sony's struggling. I'm still looking for those exclusive acquisitions, like those time exclusive ones that everybody was like, "Oh, y'all better watch out." Haven't seen anything. Seen a bunch of delays and a bunch of poorly rated games.
Well,
I don't know what
ain't
that's
exclusive anyway.
Yeah,
exactly.
I hate timed exclusives. That don't make any sense.
Because if Final Fantasy 7 remake come on Game Pass whenever this 6-month span is up, that's gonna be another hit too.
Which one?
Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Don't get me started about that game. I hate them. I hate them for what they did to that game. I
don't even play. I tried. I was literally struggling through playing my cousin's game, and he was like, "This is just a tutorial, right?" I was like, "Well, then I'm not going to waste the rest of my damn time because it just doesn't make sense."
Well, the problem that I have with it is, how dare you bloat 5 hours of a game to 50 hours, and you don't tell me how many episodes you got. Now all of a sudden you making up stuff to put in the game.
Oh, they milking this for the long run.
They throwing in story bits that didn't even make any sense. That wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah,
we're gonna get the final piece of this game on PS9. This is going to do for a long time.
If it makes it that far,
I would not. Dude, I would not be surprised if they don't kill Aerith in this. And yes, I'm saying spoilers for an over 20-plus-year-old game, but they're changing everything anyway. They're probably not going to do it.
Well, no, they may actually put the resurrection in. The resurrection that was supposed to happen.
That's supposed to happen, yeah. I don't think they're going to kill her. I think, dude, Sakurai has already spoiled this in Smash Bros. Sephiroth trailer. The stab that missed. Zelda was over there asleep. He missed. That's how they're gonna write it in.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're gonna write it in. He gonna miss. She's not dying, because the second he kill her, it's going to be, how dare you do that? Feminism, we all together. How dare y'all kill her? That is, you don't
even
kill.
Though that's what happened in the original.
It don't matter. This is 2021. We don't care. so you can't do what you did in 97. God dang it.
Right. Exactly.
That was a big moment in that game too, because you would think she was gonna make it to the end of the game with you. Nope. Halfway point.
No, what made me mad was, I'm like, I done got her level where I wanted. She got all my healing stuff. That's my healer. We gonna make it. She dead. I gotta
that's the messed up part. That's the messed up part. She is literally the dedicated healer for the game.
Yes.
And it's just,
and I'm sitting there like, my first playthrough, I'm just like, my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, how am I supposed to win? I'm like, that's my healer.
Right.
I'm like,
do you have to give her materia to everybody else and try to figure out how to get in
and then with me, I'm like, okay, they're gonna bring her back. They're gonna bring her back. Nope. They don't. So yeah, good times with Squaresoft back in the day. Yeah. Bring back Final Fantasy VI, please. Kefka, best villain of all time. So that being said, we've come to the end of this week's shenanigans. Hope you guys had a good time. Vicky, anything you want to leave us with?
Yes. Get The Forest on PlayStation. I am obsessed with this game. I just put in a 9-hour stream of it yesterday. 9 hours. 8.5 hours. I took a half-hour break for dinner.
You sure you're not an addict over there?
Right.
Well, I told you, I just get addicted to a game, I binge it, and then I stop. And so I'm gonna need everybody to get that so they can run the game with me. It's a 4-player online. Let's play.
Okay,
together.
Make sure y'all follow her stream so she can get to the very end of the game and stop playing it.
Okay. And you'll never know what happens.
Okay, survival horror game. Okay, all right.
I'm looking at too. Okay,
cool.
That sounds interesting.
The sequel. So it's a 7-year-old game, so it's like mad cheap. The sequel's supposed to come out maybe this year. Who knows? COVID pushed everything back, but that game is amazing. It's so Listen, the cannibals, they come after you. Crazy.
Oh, okay.
It's
Now, is
wild.
it anything like Days Gone at all?
I didn't play Days Gone, so I don't know.
Okay.
Cool.
Gotcha.
All right, I'll take a look at it. No biggie. All right, Jack. Anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah. So after the show, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live stream or just record it and put it up. But me and my cousin will be recording It Takes Two on the PS5. So I've heard too much about it. I finished all the previous games that I guess this creator made. A Way Out. I finished it. Me and my sons finished it. My sons together finished it, and they were 8 and 6 at the time.
Oh,
And
okay.
I mean, just watching them play it was enjoyable, and seeing that this game runs 10 times better than A Way Out, because A Way Out was a buggy mess, but was still a good game nonetheless. So we'll be doing that, and then of course, I'll be doing some more VR content when I get everything set up and ready to go. I'm almost there, so be on the lookout for that.
Cool. Andre.
I ain't got a whole lot going on. I mean, I got to do videos and post them, which is usual. And Friday, supposed to be doing the Game Idea Foundry talk for Street Fighter 6.
Oh, I want to be on that one. Yeah,
but that's still a maybe. Depends on if the baby decides to show up. So it's
yeah.
If not, it will be Friday.
You just said it, so it will.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. As for me, check out the gaming channel. I put some. I'm starting a new playlist called Arcade Fails. That's where you get to see me in all my messed up glory. That's where the rampage is going. My first rampage. That's where that's going. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be amazing. So check that out. Check out tomorrow. I'm gonna have episode 3. Vicky was on it for a fresh take of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're doing our weekly review, so check that out. What else? I don't got nothing else. So, also, I'm probably gonna try to do some live streaming a little bit. I got to get a better laptop because it's way too hard to try to gauge this to try to fix, because I know my laptop I'm using is underpowered for that. So I'm gonna try it again, but I may not do any commentary on it. I might just let it play. Okay. So I don't have to worry about the syncing issues. I might just do it silent. So if I do, I will let you guys know on Twitter and probably on here at some point. If I do like a silent Saturday live stream or something like that, I'll see you chat, but I'm not going to answer it. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Other than that, thank you as always. Thank you, Vicky, for showing up. We appreciate it.
Thank you for finally inviting me, because you just be leaving me out, and then I see the video afterwards. I'm like, oh, I see what it is.
I feel like there's a little bit of salt in that.
Yeah, I feel like there's some history back there with that. Yeah.
Ever.
You've been doing this show for a while.
we this is the end of 56, so
yeah,
exactly.
And we're not gonna talk about when we did the reboot.
So there was a reboot. Okay, that makes it worse.
See, look at that.
Wow.
Reboots, remakes, and
I feel
honored. But in our defense. Bye. All right. Y'all have a good night. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. Oh, yeah. Peace. Wakanda Forever. And watch Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 3 for Wakanda Forever for real. So,
peace, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.